What's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, back again for your weekly reset video for the week of May 3rd, 2022. This is going to be quite the week because not only do we have a new bit of rotational weekly content going on in Destiny 2, but we've also got the start of the official Destiny 2 spring event, Guardian Games 2022, where Titans, Warlocks, and Hunters rise up to see which class is going to come out on top this year. Very exciting stuff there. We will have a video covering all of Guardian Games 2022, probably going up immediately after the reset vid, so make sure you go and check the channel. But for this, we're going to talk about all the usual weekly reset stuff we usually do. Starting off, of course, with the Nightfall for this week. Nightfall is going to be the Fallen Saber. That's right, we're heading back to the Cosmodrome this week. The Nightfall weapon, I do believe, is going to be the Hothead. So if you haven't gotten yourself a fantastic roll of that awesome rocket launcher, this is going to be a good week to get that done. Of course, you're going to have better chances to get the Hothead by running higher difficulty versions of this Nightfall. And if you are running those higher difficulty versions, you're going to need to make sure you bring some anti-barrier and anti-overload mods so you can take out some of the enemies there. For the highest level of difficulty, we've got Iraq No. Champion foes are going to be anti-barrier, anti-overload, like I said. We're going to have chaff, so radar will be disabled. Of course, your equipment's locked, match game is always on, and you will face foes with both arc and void shields. Additionally, we've got Polearm, where you'll deal more damage with melee weapon attacks, but also take more damage from foes that are far away. And Acute Arc Burn. That's going to be the big burn this time around. For the Vanguard Ops playlist, of course, it is a Void Singe week. For the daily modifiers, we've got Grenadier and Blackout. Make sure you go ahead and get your Vanguard stuff done. Alright, moving on to Gambit. I think it's just regular Gambit this week. There's no Gambit Lab, so you can go ahead and run that for some decent pinnacle gear options. For Crucible, we have got the return of Momentum Control. Makes me very happy. I love this game mode. I love that you basically can't crutch on radar for it, and the faster time to kill makes it kind of feel like a bit of a faster moving FPS game like Call of Duty or Battlefield or anything like that. Make sure you jump in there, get your matches done, get your pinnacle gear. Rest of the PvP game modes are fairly simple, of course. We've got Control, Survival, Rumble, and Elimination. Alright, beyond that, let's move on into Savathun's Throne World. Start off with the story mission for the week. This time around, it is The Last Chance. Of course, you can run this to get yourself some decent rewards as well. You can farm it to get a chance at Ascendant Alloy, which I would absolutely recommend you go ahead and get done. Modifiers you can see here are going to be Martyr. Champion foes will be Barrier and Unstoppable champions. And of course, you will have Chaff and Shielded foes. You're going to be dealing with Arc and Solar shields for the highest difficulty level here. Alright, beyond that, we've got the Wellspring attack this week. This time around, the weapon you'll be able to earn is the Fel Teradiddle legendary bow. Pretty good bow, as I recall. Got a decent perk pool, so it might actually be worth running this time around. Beyond that, of course, we've got pinnacle rewards from Vox Obscura as well as the Preservation mission. Make sure you get those done if you're still pushing towards that 1560 base. Alright, next up, let's talk a little bit about the Legend and Master Lost sectors for this week. This time around, they are going to be, well, starting at the beginning of the week. It's going to be located over here in the Dreaming City. Today's Legend and Master Lost sector is Chamber of Starlight. Going to be dealing with overloads and unstoppables with a solar burn, and you'll be fighting solar and void shields. The exotic reward today is going to be exotic leg armor. Make sure you go and check it out. Before we head on to the tower, the Altars of Sorrow weapon this week is going to be the Heretic rocket launcher. So rocket launchers all around in all activities this week. So make sure you go run that if you're still looking to get a decent roll of the Heretic. Over on Europa, the Eclipse Zone this week is the Asterian Abyss. And of course, the Exo Challenge this week is Simulation Agility. But alright, now that all that's done, let's head to the tower and check some things. Back here at the tower, of course, you can see it's all dressed up for the Guardian Games spring event. Hopefully you Guardians are diving on in and representing your favorite class well. But we're going to be taking a look at some of the vendor offerings for this week, starting with our good buddy, Mr. Rahul. This time around, for material exchange, he's got Glimmer purchases for Etheric Spiral, Barian Bow, and Helium Filaments, and you'll be able to swap Legendary Shards for Microphasic Data Lattice, Dusklight Shards, Spin Metal Leaves, and Glacial Starwort. Good stuff all around. After that, we've got the duo list of gunsmiths here in the tower, starting up with Banshee 44. This week's weapon offerings are going to be the Ragan Hill D with Demolitionist and Dual Loader. Not going to lie to you, there are probably some better variants of this out there. The shotgun's not the best, but not terrible, but I'd probably skip out this week. You can get some better options for this shotgun. Then we've got the Crate Legendary Auto Rifle. This thing is one of my favorite weapons in the game right now, but the role currently available isn't really conducive to the way you're supposed to be playing this particular weapon. The perks of auto-loading holster and one for all is not bad in PvE on auto rifles, but you don't really need auto-loading holster on a weapon that's entire gimmick is that it's supposed to be restoring its own magazine size whenever you land hits or get kills. I would look for something like Subsistence one for all, maybe even Stats for all, one for all would be better options there. Then we've got the Vision with Grave Robber and Disruption Break. Actually not a bad combination for this old class of sidearm. These things hit surprisingly hard in PvE, and this has always been a decent option. Next up, we've got the Fugu, I have no idea how to pronounce this thing. The 55 is what we'll call it. This is going to be coming with lead from gold as well as snapshot sights. Not the worst perk combination, but it's kind of got a mixture of decent PvE perk and decent PvP perk, so you probably get better sniper options out there beyond this one. Then we've got the Palmyra B. This is one of the better better rocket launchers in the game right now. You can craft a pretty darn good version of it, but if you haven't leveled it up enough to craft a decent version, you want to look for something like auto-loading holster, explosive light, or adrenaline junkie. This is actually a pretty serviceable role between ambitious assassin helping you to overflow that magazine when you get a bunch of multi-kills, and then of course adrenaline junkie is one of the better perks in PvE right now for getting that bonus damage with grenades. There's a lot of grenade-focused builds out there, and this would work great with it. Finally, we've got Eternity's Edge with Infinite Guard, Energy Transfer, and Surrounded. Not a bad option at all if you're lacking one of these swords. Alright, that's pretty much it for Big Banshee. You can see the basic mods he's got here. Most everybody's got those. Let's head on over to the other gunsmith to see what daily offerings 801 has got for us this week. Alright, back here at 801, this time around she's rocking Unflinching Pulse Rifle, Grenade Launcher Ammo Finder, Machine Gun Holster, and Melee Wellmaker. This is actually an artifact mod this season that's probably going to be changing when next season rolls around, so if you haven't gotten the generic version of Melee Wellmaker, definitely worth picking up here, especially for some of the Hunter and Titan builds that are going on right now. Alright, that's it for the vendors themselves. The last thing we've got to check here is, of course, Eververse. Let's see what Tess Everest has brought for the Guardian games. Of course, we've got a brand new batch of rewards here for you to dive into. Starting off with some of the stuff you can pick up for silver. Give me a G. What does that spell? Well, it spells G, but they say it spells Guardians. Next up, we've got the Lawnmower Exotic Sparrow. This is a big, chunky Haka boy, although it's also got Suros on there too. Actually pretty cool. I might actually pick that one up. Then we've got a new ornament for the Vex Mythic class called Classed of Its Own. Decent stuff there. Out of that, we've got a new ghost shell called the Backstroke Shell. Take a look at it here. And finally, the daily offer, Static Shock. Bloop. Alright, beyond that, we've got some of the usual stuff. The Half Volley Shell has returned once again. You know, from Guardian games last year, I do believe. Then we've got the Hot Commodity Exotic Ship. This is brand new and looks pretty darn good if you ask me. If you've got the Bright Dust for it, you can pick that up for 2,000 Bright Dust. We've got a transmat effect here called Cherry Blossom Entrance. And the shader Rivalry Black Sand. Good looking stuff. Alright, next up, of course, we have got the Guardian Games themed purchases that you can get for your characters, including the new Eververse armor set. This is the new contender set for the Guardian Games 2022, and of course these will look different based on whatever class you're playing. You can either pick it up for 1,500 silver, that's $15 by the way, or 6,000 Bright Dust will get you the pack as well. Of course, the Eververse sets from previous year's Guardian games will also be making a return in Eververse this week, so you can pick any of those up if you happen to miss out on them. Alright, finally for some of the weekly offers here, we have the Bright Dust offerings, starting with Reigning Champions, which you can pick up for Bright Dust. Look at it. Get the championship belt like you won a world's first raid. Then we've got the Plush Shell.
When the traveler acts, the world changes. For some,
The Pistol Pose Exotic Sparrow.
What will its reformation bring?
The Frontrunner Exotic Ship. The Water Break Legendary Emote. And the Recognize Legendary Emote.
Please watch your step.
Then, of course, we've got the Gold Metal Ghost Projection for your ghost out there. Perfectly themed for the ongoing event. Alright, finally after that, of course, we have got the list of shaders, starting with Flavito Core. Reef Maid, one of my personal faves. Lion's Pride. And Burnished Reed.
I am continuously fascinated by the choices you Guardians make when molding your
Then we've got the Cabal Arrival Transmat Effect.
garishness.
The Stasis Entrance Transmat Effect. And finally, the Cyber Class Entrance. I think this one's actually brand new. Probably one of the cooler looking entrances in the game. But alright, beyond that, that's pretty much it for your weekly reset stuff for the week of May 3rd, 2022. Of course, the Guardian games are in full swing, so get out there, complete some activities, finish up some of those seasonal bounties, and make your class of choice proud. Again, we will be having a video covering the basics of Guardian games as well as some farming options coming out probably shortly after this goes live, so make sure you're staying tuned for that. But that's it for your weekly reset vid. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.